Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am jeffgrantMEDIA, and today's real user review, we are going to be taking a look at the Unmarked DB Hunter boots in the Natural Oil Veg Tan. Now, Unmarked did send me these as a sample full review, but all the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. I did not share this content with Unmarked prior to publication. They will see this when you do. In addition to that, there is an affiliate link in the description box down below. If you're considering buying these boots or any other product from Unmarked, please consider using that link. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but I do get a small percentage of that sale kick back to me, and all that money goes back to the channel to help me produce more content so consumers can make informed purchasing decisions. So I have now been wearing these boots for a little over a month and a half maybe. It might even be coming up on that 2-month mark. I've been quite busy, so you can't go by publishing dates of the first impressions to the review anymore because I've been quite busy. So I've been doing these videos and working and testing on a lot of these things long before the actual first video has been coming out. So I've gotten quite a bit of wear out of these DB Hunters, and I've worn these in probably a lot of conditions that a company out of Leon, Mexico did not intend their custom MTO $430 pair of boots to be worn, like walking through the snowy woods, walking on sidewalks and through parking lots full of ice and rock salt, and just generally out walking anywhere in the winter months of northeastern Pennsylvania, because it is ice season here. We haven't really hit our snow season. That's probably coming in a couple more weeks where we'll actually probably get a little bit of snow where we can maybe go sleigh riding once or twice. But I've been wearing these in a lot of wintry weather conditions. And one thing that I did notice is it's hard to come across on camera, but you can see because of all of the rock salt, because a lot of the ice, because it's more ice season than snow season, the leather is drying out quite a bit. So I am actually probably going to condition these very soon, much sooner than I normally would. I would generally condition my boots like twice a year. I usually condition them around the start of the winter and then like around the start of spring. So I come out of this dry, arid time and I'll condition my boots because it's been dry. Even if I haven't really worn them through the winter, it's very dry. With the heat being out of the house, it's very arid. So I generally condition my boots around the springtime and then going into the winter to kind of prepare them for those dry air temperatures. But even though these are only about 2 months old, I do live in northeastern Pennsylvania and it is winter here and it's mostly been ice. So lots of rock salt, lots of very cold, dry air, and it doesn't do very good on the boots because it's just like your skin of your hands. These are flesh and they dry out and needs to be conditioned. So we will probably do that much sooner than normal. But who is Unmarked? Unmarked was founded by Hugo Fonts, and I would like to apologize if I completely said your name wrong, in the world-renowned city of Leon, Mexico in 2011. So that means Unmarked is coming up on their 14th anniversary this year. They do have a small section of stocked goods on their website that features a few boots and then a few other leather items, but the majority of their boots are in MTO, which means they are made to order. So there is a delay from when you place your order from when your boots are actually manufactured and sent to you. So essentially, if you want a pair of boots within a couple of days, you are going to have to try someone other than Unmarked because they are going to take, I believe, 15 to 30 days to build your boots depending upon the style of boots that you choose and the season. Obviously, the holiday season is going to be much busier, so they will get backed up. So you're looking at a 2 to 4 week wait time before your boots will ship out. So MTO means made to order, means you have to wait a little bit of time to get your boots, but before we even get into the review, it's worth it. These boots are amazing, so the wait is certainly worth it. Now, Unmarked is also a fair trade company, which means they pay their employees a full-time livable wage and they create safe working conditions. Now, if you are unfamiliar with Leon, Mexico, they are the 5th largest city in the entire country of Mexico, and they are known globally as a world leader for boot making. But Leon is much more than just a boot and shoe making capital. They make all sorts of high quality, top-notch leather goods. I have a couple of boots and bags that were made in Leon, Mexico, and they are of top-notch, superb quality. Now let's talk about the DB Hunter boot. This is Unmarked's version of a derby boot. This is what they think it should look like, what it should be. So not a classic derby, but Unmarked's take on it. This particular model is the Natural Oil Veg Tan leather with the Vibram Christi sole on it. They do make the DB Hunter with a different sole and at least one other colorway. I don't remember offhand, but what they have currently in stock, what they can make, will be on their website. Now, this version is $430 USD. It also features a Veg Tan calf leather liner, a Veg Tan insole, a Veg Tan midsole with cork filling, all brass hardware, that being the eyelets and the speed hooks. It comes with rawhide laces. It has a Goodyear welded sole built on the Unmarked 2012 last and features a Vibram Christie sole. Now, one of the points of note of this boot is when I first got it, I said it didn't look too pink, but I was looking at it in UV lights and studio lights in my basement, and now in my upstairs studio I'm looking at it and it does look tan. But once I took it out in natural light, and I think I did a cutaway shot in my unboxing video, it does look pink. So note that when you get this Natural Veg Tan boot, it is going to look pink out in the natural sunlight. I was actually at dance class with my daughter because I am a dance dad, and one of the moms asked me if why I was wearing pink boots, and I said they're brand new, they're Natural Veg Tan. They will turn more brown with age, but she looked at them and thought I had on pink boots. So they will have that pink flesh tone to them when you first get them, but they will age, because now even in the natural light, if you catch it at the right angle, even still after about a month and a half, 2 months of wear, they will look a little bit pink. But now that you can see they're getting worn, they're getting a little dirty, and they are tanning up a little bit, they don't look that pink. But they did look pink at first for about a week or so. In natural light, they did look quite pink. Now, I also said in my unboxing that both of the boots, when I tried them on, they fit great. I didn't have any pinching, rubbing, or irritation. Now, after about 2 days or so, I noticed the left boot, the instep was digging in on my foot just a little bit. It wasn't that bad. And after a couple days, it was starting to wear in, but it was still a little bit uncomfortable for me to wear all day long, especially if I was wearing thicker socks. So they do sell stretchers. You can buy them on Amazon. I think they're like 20 bucks. But what I did was I took a soup can. I found a soup can that just fit in there, that had to force just a little bit, so I was putting some of that upward pressure in there. So what I did was I took a wet paper towel and I stuck my hand inside the boot and I wet the leather on the inside of the instep, and then I also wet it on the outside of the instep as well. I did take the laces off, but I wet it, and then I took that can of soup that just fit and I crammed it in there, so I made sure it was in the instep area, and I noticed immediately the next day it felt much, much better. But it was still a tiny bit tight, so the second day I just dampened it just a little bit more. I may have the first night only dampened the inside. The second night I think I did do the inside and outside, and I crammed that soup can in there again, and the next day they felt fine. Now, I will say if I'm wearing super thick socks because it's 17 degrees outside, it might feel a little tight if I'm wearing some of my thickest socks that I own, but generally now if I'm wearing my regular socks that I wear with boots, I don't feel it at all. So yes, initially the testing, trying on period, walking around, I didn't feel anything, but after about a day or two I noticed the instep on only my left boot. The right boot was fine, but only the left boot was a little bit tight, and it's simple. All I did, again, I just wet the leather. I stuck a soup can in there. I mean, if you don't want to use a soup can, you can use basically any sort of roundish item because you want to have that conform to the arch, the top of your foot, and cram it in there. Or you can just buy the stretchers. They're like $20 on Amazon for a cheap pair. For something that you're probably not going to use that often, you don't need to buy like $100 pair of instep stretchers for your boots. You can just get a cheap pair of $20 ones, but dampen the leather, or you can use some like leather conditioner and just stretch it out a little bit. What that is essentially doing is simulating me wearing these boots for an extended period of time to stretch it out naturally, but because it was uncomfortable, I just sped up that process to make the boots more comfortable to wear. And that was really it. That's the only negative or point of notes about the boot, is that when you first get them in natural sunlight, they will look a little bit pink. And for me, the left boot, the instep was a little bit tight, but again, stretched it out. Now I have no issues with it unless I'm wearing like my thickest pair of socks, and it doesn't hurt. I can just feel it being a little bit snug there where it's not uncomfortable. I can still wear these for 12, 14 hours that day and be fine. Now, other than that, I've actually really enjoyed these boots. I did specifically choose the Natural Veg Tan because I want to see them age, and you can see some of that aging already. Like you can see the creasing on the tongue here. That's kind of what some of these boots, some more of the creasing areas, like the back from when you're walking and the boot flexes, you're gonna see a lot more of that on the back here and through the sides. You'll also get some darkening here on the toe from where you're walking, where it's creasing from when you're walking. but that's kind of a good indication of some of the kind of wear that you're going to get, some of that darkening. And you can see some of the crocking along the edge of the boot here. That's from my jeans. You can see there's a little bit of the indigo from the warp bleeding through to the weft, and that's what that is. That is that ring that you can see here. That is where the cuff of my pants are landing on my boot, and you can see some of the rawhide laces are also dyed indigo. That just happens to be where they land on the boot, leaving a little bit of indigo crocking. And as I was talking about earlier, I've certainly worn these in far more settings than I believe Unmarked had ever anticipating a pair of $430 Veg Tan boots. I wore these out in the woods to film at least one video and a couple B-roll shots for some other videos. So I've been wearing these everywhere, doing everything I would normally do. To work, walking the dog, at dance class, and everything in between. Yes, I did swap them out here or there for a different pair of boots, but predominantly over the past month and a half, or maybe 2 months now at this point, I have been wearing these as my sole main footwear. And they've been great, you know, other than that one time, or that the one little issue with the instep on the left boot. Once I stretch it out, they're fine. The soles, they look great. They show almost no signs of wear. If you look at the heel, there is a little bit on both of them where you can see the heel is worn up, but that's just the way I walk. It's not that bad at all. I've seen much more drastic wear in a shorter period of time on a harder sole boot than these Christie soles, which are fairly soft. I mean, they're denser than you would think, but as far as boot soles go, the Christie sole is a softer sole, and that has very, very minimal wear on the heel. But the tread is completely fine on both these, and they actually still look good. They still look, I mean, you could tell they're dirty, but they still look pretty clean. And the dirtiest part would be the heel, probably, on both shoes, and that's for me kicking them off. And generally, I think if I look at these, yeah, if you look at them, the right boot has a little bit more dirt and wear than the left boot, because personally, when I come home from work, I untie and kick off my right shoe first. So I'm always kicking off my right boot with my left boot, and then my left boot gets kicked off with my socked right foot. So the left heel is a little less dirty because I kick this off with my sock, as opposed to the right boot, which I kick off with my left boot sole. But they're working really, really nice. I love the way these are aging, and I had seen these on the Man Cave Club, not realizing that Jimmy had the exact same pair. I knew that he had gotten a pair of Natural Veg Tan Unmarked boots, and I thought they looked sick, which was one of the reasons I started looking at Unmarked's Natural Veg Tan boots. But I didn't realize until after I actually got them, and I went back because I wanted to see what Jimmy's boots were looking like, that he had the exact same pair, and he had just conditioned his. I saw a post on Instagram, and they looked great. And I'm probably going to condition mine probably within the next week or two and treat these, because on camera it is hard to see, but in person I can see that there is a little bit, mostly on the toe and a little bit on the heel, but mostly on the toe of each boot, just from walking, all that rock salt getting on there. And even though I whack these off with the horsehide brush just about every day, it's still on there. So if I'm walking to work and I'm going through the parking lot and I get rock salt on my boots, they're sitting on my boots all day long until that night when I'm finally taking my boots off for the night. I'll kick them off, I'll grab the brush, I'll knock all the dirt and stuff off them, and then they're fine for the night. But that rock salt would have sat on there all day long. And it's just drying the leather out a little bit, because this is leather, this is flesh, this is skin, and I don't know how many times a day I'm applying lotion to my hands because these are getting dry and chafed and chapped. And this time of the year, leather can use a little bit extra TLC than it does in the summer, warmer, more humid months. So I will probably be using some of my Chisos leather balm on these whenever I have some time, probably within the next week or two. I think we got some cold weather coming, so we're probably gonna see a lot more rock salt, a lot more ice. So I'll probably just wait until after this week, and when I think we might see a little bit of a warm up and hopefully less ice, and then I'll treat them so they'll be ready to go for the remainder of the season. But yeah, I've been very, very pleased with these Unmarked DB Hunter boots. These have been great. They, again, are looking awesome. Yeah, they might look a little dirty to you, but to the guy next to you, he's loving these just as much as I am, because this is what I like. I like the patina. I like to see the way these things are looking and aging with time. I like when they get a little bit beat up. I think that adds the character, and that's more of the look that I'm going for. When it's brand new, yeah, it's nice to look at, it's nice, it's crisp, but I can't wait to get it looking a little bit more worn in. It's one of the reasons I like selvage denim so much. As it fades, it gets beat up, it just looks so much nicer and cooler. And the same thing with leather jackets and leather boots and leather belts, just leather goods in general. The more wear, the more use, the better they look. These things age nicely, and so far, the Unmarked DB Hunters are both aging nicely and feeling really, really great on my feet, doing just about anything that I could possibly think about doing in these boots. So do I recommend you buy the DB Hunter by Unmarked if you're looking at it? Yeah, it's been fun. It's been great. I really like seeing these every single day, they age a little bit more every day. That's the Natural Veg Tan. If you go with a darker leather, they will still age. They will still take on patina, but they will probably show their age and wear a little bit slower than the Natural Veg Tan, because you see everything. Every mark, every scuff, every dirt mark on here, you will see, and that's one of the reasons I like this colorway so much. It just looks great. It feels comfortable. It's a handmade boot in basically the boot capital of the world, Leon, Mexico. Yes, the company might be a little bit new, only being about 14 years old this year, but they come from a vast background in an area of Mexico that is known for their quality, care, and craftsmanship of leather goods. And as far as I'm concerned, this meets or exceeds all expectations that I've seen from any product that I've gotten from Leon, Mexico. And at this point, I've had many pair of boots, several belts. I've had a very expensive, very high-end, very premium leather backpack from Leon, Mexico, and this meets all of the criteria for a product coming out of that area with what I know of that area and how good they are with their leather work. This is great. The skill, top-notch. This is made by artisans, again, a fair trade company, so you know those artisans that are actually making this product, they are actually getting paid a fair, livable wage. This is not slave labor. This is people that care about what they're doing and are being paid well and fairly for the work that they're doing. So I think that shows in the product that I'm here holding in my hands. And if you're looking at it, snag it. I don't think you will be disappointed. And if you want to take another look at this same pair of boots, go check out the Man Cave, Jimmy's pair. I don't remember his Instagram handle offhand. If I do remember, I will drop it in the description box down below. You can click on that. Last time I checked, you only have one picture on these, but they're a few months older than mine, so you can see what they will look like a few months further down the line. So with that, if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications the next time I post a brand new video. Good night.